Good morning. Here's a second unboxing review from my trip to Solway yesterday, and this is a pistol that my wife bought me. I bought the Glock 22 and she bought me the CZ Shadow 2, a full blowback BB shooter. This is actually a fully licensed copy of the actual Real Steel, and I did check this out on the Real Steel website, on the CZ website. So that's the information. You can see the actual English information is the top line. I'm not going to explain it all to you, so I want to try and keep this review fairly short. I mean, I did do a trial one yesterday and it was way too long. 16 minutes, way too long. So anyhow, moving on quickly as we can. So what you've got a great manual. I tell you what, this is fantastic. Full colour pictures, tells you everything you need to know. Feel strippable. Got a hop up as well. Normally it's only 6mm airsoft that has hop up, but this is a 4.5mm and it has hop up. I know because I had to adjust it. Okay, to make the pellet fly, the BB fly at a straighter trajectory. If the pop up's too low, the BB doesn't spin and then it drops. So what you need a bit of just a hop up, so it puts backspin on the BB, which increases the actual trajectory of it and makes it shoot more straighter. And that's what hop up generally does. So anyhow, moving on as quickly as we can. You've got two Allen keys. The small one is for adjusting the rear sight windage. You've got two grub screws, so you can undo them and move it left and right. Okay, and that obviously is for your magazine. Yeah, for your CO2. It's got a phone box. ASG. Not really keen on them, but you probably put it in a case anyhow. Okay. Now let's take the bag out. Let's try to do this as quickly as possible because there's quite a lot to cover this pistol. We'll drop the magazine first. So what you got your BB guide there. Okay. It says it takes 17. To be honest, I'd only put 16 in there because the guide is pretty close to the small hole where you load it. Yeah, so I'd go for 16. You've got information on the bottom. I'll just show you that. It tells you to make sure you depressurise and take the CO2 out when you finish shooting it, which is a good idea. To take the cap off, you've got this little latch here. You pull it down, you push that forward, and then you've got your cap there. Unscrew this. Interestingly, it doesn't go all the way through, so there's no chance of putting the actual Allen key all the way into the CO2, which is a good thing because some of them it goes right there through. It's a bit of a pain. It goes in an angle as well, so make sure you put it in an angle. Let the thread take so you don't cross thread it. Just be careful. And then when you've loaded your CO2, yeah, bit of Pelgan oil as usual. Pop that back on, and then just pull that latch down, and it locks it on like that. See? Obviously, valve at the back. Seal at the top, yeah, keep that clean because that obviously makes a seal with the actual the inside of the actual mechanism as it slides goes back and forward. As it pushes the BB out, yeah, this is like the early SIG P226 X5s, yeah, same sort of system where the seal is made between the two and the gas goes up there and fires the BB out. Yeah, quite technical. Not as reliable as some of the actual, like the Glock, which is basic, but yeah, that's the way a lot of BB blowbacks work. Okay, very good, way weighted. Now going on to the pistol, this is a heavyweight. Yeah, I weighed this. This weighed nearly 1,300 grams. Yeah, 1,300. Yeah, 1.3 kilos. Yeah, so it's a hefty pistol. So looking at this, this is like a Real Steel version. It looks just like the Real Steel off the website. So what you've got an ambidextrous safety, yeah, so it operates red dot both sides. You can only put the safety on when you've cocked it over the hammer back. So you can pull the hammer back, you want to cock it manually, and then you can put the safety on. So you've got red dot both sides, okay, which is really nice. You've got your slide lock there, okay. You've got some nice, let's just decock it. In fact, take the safety off. Yeah, you can decock it, just pull the trigger and let the hammer forward like that. So you can decock it. Looking at the sights, right, so you've got a fibre optic at the front, okay, and then you've got adjustments at the top, yeah, that for the elevation, and then you've got these two little grub screws on the side that allows you to move the sights to the left and right for windage. Okay, that's a manual adjustment. So that's your rear sights. Obviously it's double action and single action, so obviously cock it, so that's single action, nice and light, and double action. Double action is I think fairly heavy, but obviously being a blowback, you'd very rarely shoot it in double action, but that might improve with use. Obviously maybe a little bit of lubrication. It does state it's 1.35 joules, and actually put this through the Crony, and the information I have, if I can find it, here we go, is it actually was doing, from a fresh CO2, 1.36 joules, which is actually very close to what they say. So its average FPS was 290 FPS from a fresh CO2 over 5 shots. Giving it 30 seconds though, it was still doing 10 FPS spread over 5 shots. So it's still pretty good, providing that it allows the CO2 to recover. That's the main thing. Okay. Accuracy wise, yeah, I had a bit of a play around with it because I adjusted the hop up quite a lot. The hop up was, the BBs were dropping low, so I adjusted the hop up first to bring them more, and there was quite a lot of adjustment on the hop up to bring it up to make the BB shoot more straighter at 10 yards. And then after you adjusted the rear sight elevation to just make adjustments there. So the final few shots was like pretty central, yeah, around there, shooting to one side. So it'll require a bit more shooting with this to get it right. Yeah, so we've done the sights. This is fully field strippable, by the way, and what you've got to do is a bit difficult to take apart. I say difficult to take apart, you've got to think about it, but then we can see this, but there's two marks there on the rear, yeah, one on the slide and one on the actual frame, and you have to pull them back, line them up, yeah, so you've got to cock it first, get the magazine out, pull it back to line those two things up, then there's a button here, you push that in, and then you pull out the hold open, and then it basically just comes off like that. Very simple. Okay, so that's it stripped down. Okay, field stripped. I'll show you the actual hop up. So you see that, I just put my finger on it there. That's the hop up adjustment. So you screw it in to increase the hop up to make it fly up, the BB fly up, and anti-clockwise to lower the actual, to make the trajectory lower for the BB. Yeah, so that the more you turn it to the clockwise, the more you increase the hop up, which makes the BB spin backwards, and puts backwards spin, it makes it fly better. Okay, but that's roughly set up. So I'd turn the hop up probably in, and then I turned it up about all the way, and then turned it up about half a turn. Yeah, and then I did the adjustments at the rear sights. Yeah, which are at the, you see the rear sights are actually been adjusted, and that you could probably get a bit more adjustment on them, but it seems to be shooting pretty straight at 10 yards. Okay, nice quality. The actual spring guide, all metal. Looks stainless actually. I mean, this is a hefty pistol. The quality, you can see where the valve there, that lines up with the actual magazine seal, so that's where the gas goes in as far as the BB. Yeah, that's how a lot of these blowbacks work. Okay, putting it back together is actually easier. So pop it back on the slides like so. Bit fiddly, yeah, on like that, and then just put it back to its normal position like that. Yeah, this is how easy it is. You take your takedown lever, you pop that in the hole like that, and then what you do with your finger on the takedown lever, just pull it back to line those two things up, push it in, and that's it. We're back together. Simple. So it's easier to put it back together than it is to actually take it apart. It's got a full blowback, so you'll see if I put the magazine in, and look, yeah, see, it's a full blowback pistol. It's hefty. As with all these sort of pistols, you'll get about 3 magazines. Yeah, so 16 shots, 48. You'll get about, if you want 17, you get 51 shots out of this. And then the CO2 will actually tail off. And that's the same with all these sort of blowback pistols, whether it's a PT92, whether it's the 6-hour P226X5, you know, all this exactly the same sort of systems, but they all basically will do about 3 full magazines before the CO2 stops. You can actually even adjust the actual mag release as well. It tells you in the manual you can undo that screw and adjust the angle of it. I think it's nice as it is, to be quite honest. Bigger pull, yeah. Double action, it actually is quite firm. That might improve with a bit of lubrication. But the thing is, you'd very rarely shoot it like that because of blowback. And the actual movement of the trigger there, and then it goes there. So it's a really nice smooth trigger in single action. Barrel quality, yeah, it's looks like it's brass barrel, very nice. Like I said, that appears to be stainless steel guide. If I lock it back again and show you the actual guide, yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, really nice quality. So, more shooting to do with this. Obviously, do an outdoor video. Even I tell you, the realistic look of this pistol. If you look on the CZ website and look over this pistol, forget that. But if you can take that off, but the actual realism, yeah, of this pistol on the CZ, down to everything, even down to the detail on the side of the actual magazine, like that +2, and the detail on the front of the magazine is actually just like the real steel. So it's a really, really nice replica. These are about 200. Carl sold it to my wife for about, I think, 10 quid off. He gave us some discount because we do go and visit Solway quite often, and they're a really good shop. Carl always very friendly, and the lads there very helpful. So yeah, I hope you like that little video, and yeah, really nice, heavyweight. Yeah, this is a heavy pistol. Very much, if you've ever shot the BB version of the 6-hour X5, the early blowback. I think they were made by Cybergun, if I'm rightly, mine is. Quite old, I've had it about 5-6 years. Very, very similar. But this is really nice. Really definitely like the adjustable sights. I like the fibre optic front because you can see it nice and clearly, even in low light, which helps with aiming. So yeah, I hope you like that little video, and we will do some outdoor shooting reviews as soon as we can. Thanks for watching.